Welcome back to Martin Sim Racing, where we're trying to make our way up from E all the way to A+ here on Gran Turismo 7. Today we're here for the Gran Turismo World Series Manufacturers Cup Round 3 of Season 2 here in 2022. And we're at Sardinia Racetrack here. And I'm telling you, we got a good one for you here today. Can we get it done with all the practice we've put in this week? We are really trying our best to get it done. The question is, can we get it done? There has been an update to the game as of I think Wednesday or Thursday, and some things have changed with tire wear and with mid-engine cars being better. You know, you think we're going with the Ford GT, or did we? Did we go with the Mustang? I don't know, but we're about to find out. So all week I've been talking about that Ford GT LM race car. Hadn't even been considered in the 2018 Ford race car, but guess what? I tested them out after the update, and that is what we're going with. This beauty right here, the Ford GT 2018 race car. This is the actual race car that's raced in real life that Ford engineers have come up with, and it is a great car. Doesn't have the horsepower that our Ford LM race car has, but this car definitely handles better. And I'm telling you, you can get away with more. And with tire wear being so important, remember I've told you in the earlier videos this week that tire wear is going to be 10 times the normal use on this track for this race. So 1 lap equals 10 laps. 8 laps equals 80 laps. You get the picture. And this Ford GT race car here is better, in my opinion, at tire wear than the Ford LM race car. And so that is why I chose this car. After doing just a few laps, I was able to match my times with very little practice with this car. I really like this car, and I really like my choice. So let's go racing, and let's find out what happened this week on Gran Turismo 7 in the Manufacturers Cup. So let's jump right into it with qualifying here. As you can see, I'm in 10th place after 7 laps, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, I'm going to start in 10th place out of 16 drivers. All the practice I've put in, I've got some 119s on the board, and it ain't good enough but for 10th place. Man, I'm doing something wrong. I'm way out of my league. What am I going to do? But here on the 7th lap, I sort of get in the zone and things start clicking, and I know I'm having a good lap, and every section I go through it says best time, and I'm like, all right, I'm on pace to have a really good lap, a better lap than all my others. Obviously, what will it be good enough for? What's going to happen? I know these guys are thinking this guy ain't nothing. He's in 10th place. He ain't nothing. But there's another best time for that section. And I'm getting close here. I'm like, just hang on, man. Hit the apexes. Come on. You can do it. Just put a little more into it. Come on. Just a little more into it. Let's just shave it down. Let's get into the low 119s. The best I had all week was a 118.9, and that was in the Ford LM race car and the Mustang, not in this car. So what can I come across the board here? I know it's going to be a good time. Just got to wait for it and see what is it going to be. 118.8. Oh my gosh, we're in 4th place. So after all that, we did bump up to 4th place. We did come through. Man, you can see it right there. 4th place. It was tied at the top, but 4th place, I'll take it. You know, I can start in 4th. I can win the race from 4th place. I have a chance to win the race starting in 4th. If I'm starting in 10th, I got no chance. I'm thinking, oh my goodness. And I did this. This is a 10 o'clock race. I did not want to do the 11 o'clock race. I had a long day, had a lot going on today, and I knew it was going to be that way. So I really wanted to get it done on my first attempt because I was really tired. I wasn't at my best. I can tell you that now. I'm not trying to make any excuses, but that's just the way it was. But here we go. We're starting in 4th place. We have a chance to pull out a win. Can we get it done? So you can see in front of us there's a Toyota in 2nd, and Aston Martin in 3rd, and there is a Ferrari in 1st place. What can we do in the Ford GT race car? Again, didn't practice with this car hardly any this week, but my strategy was start on hards, go 9 laps, and switch to the mediums. A lot of people are going to have that strategy, so we'll see how it works out, because tire wear is very important in this race. But starting off here, just trying to see, can I stay up with these guys? They had some quick times in qualifying. Can't tell you off the top of my head what they were, but they were quick. And here on this turn, I actually am going to go just a little wide because these hard tires are not warmed up good. But I'm carrying some good speed here, and I'm staying in place with them. Everybody's packed in there, 1, 2, 3. Nobody's just running off right here at the beginning and leaving everybody. But the guy in the Ferrari from Brazil was very, very fast. So the strategy here is you got to think about your tire wear, because I'm telling you, it's what, you know, these guys might be fast at the beginning, but they may be on soft tires. They may be going to pit 2 times. That was a strategy that some people were employing, but I didn't feel it. So here we go. This guy, the Aston Martin, goes wide, but I'm staying in with him. But I got this guy in the Honda coming right behind me, and I couldn't take my line just right because he was there, and I wanted to give him space, but I wanted to hold my position and want to stay in 4th place as long as I could. So as we get through with the first lap here, we're going to keep our place in the 4th spot. We're not giving up anything. We're not really losing a ton of ground to 1, 2, and 3, but they are moving ahead of us just a little bit. So that was concerning off the bat, because I don't want to finish in 4th. I started in 4th. I want to finish on the podium. Finishing on the podium would be great. I really want to win, but a podium finish I'll take. So here we go. Starting the 2nd lap, I get the guy dive bombing me on the inside, which I think it was a good move. There's nothing wrong with what he did. He broke late. He got the move, and then I get passed again. I'm dropping back to 6th. I'm not freaking out at this point because I know I'm on hard tires. They may be on mediums to start the race. They may be going to pit on lap 5 or 6. Maybe on softs. I don't know. But soft tires ain't going to last but 3 laps. So I just don't think that was a good strategy, especially if you're starting in the back. Now, in 6th place, I'm thinking just don't give up another spot. Stay in here with the pack. Stay close. This tire thing's going to work itself out. I've practiced this race against the computer. I've practiced against people, but not in this car. I only practiced against the computer one time in this car. That was right before the race. So I knew my 9-lap hard and 6-lap mediums will work, but in race conditions, under a little bit more stress, a little more tension, will it work? Again, if it doesn't go well, I can try again at 11 o'clock, but I do not want to. I'm telling you, I just wasn't feeling it. So here on lap 2, at the end of lap 2, we're already dropped back to 6. So I'm not feeling real great about that, but at the same time, I know that there's different pit strategies and things like that going on that can play in the factor. So I'm thinking, do the best you can and see what happens. Just drive your best lap. You can see a 1:23.7 on the 2nd lap, which, with hard tires isn't great. I'd like to be in the 122s, maybe even drop down to 121s at times. I go wide here again on this turn. Slows me down, but don't lose too much space to these guys in front of me. But, I'm not driving my best, and I got this guy in the Subaru right on my tail. So if I'm going to give up another position, looks like right here I do, to the guy in the Subaru. So now I'm dropped back to 7th. But we've got to keep in mind the tire wear is so important. So I'm just, there's nobody behind me now. So obviously there's a big gap between 7 and 8. So I feel pretty safe about saying I'm not going to lose any more positions right now. Somebody's going to wipe out with the tire wear being what it is on one of these turns. Because, it happens so easy to any of us. And we're going to gain a position. We just got to stay out of trouble. Maybe don't get up there and try to do too much early in the race. Don't fight too much early in the race. We want to make it to lap 9. If we don't make it to lap 9 on the hard tires, I think you can throw the race away, because then it's going to be a 2 pit stop race for sure, because the mediums ain't going to go more than 6. And you got to use hards and you got to use mediums. That's part of the rules for this race. But you also could use softs. So if you go 2 stops, you're going to switch to the softs at some point. Now you can see somebody's already in the pits. I think it was the 2nd place guy. He took to the pits. So we're able to pass him, jump up to 6th place here after 3 laps, 3 complete laps. That was our best lap. We're in the 123s now, almost into the 122s. So the hard tires are getting a little heat on them. You can see down to the left bottom of my diagram. And I'm thinking, I need to go 5 more laps. I'm feeling pretty good about the chance to do that, so I'm going to keep pushing. Now, as my tires wear down more and more, what I do is I switch from 0 traction control to 1 traction control, even 2 at times when the tires are really bad, when it becomes obvious that you just need to make it around the track at a decent pace because of tire wear. But at this point, I'm driving traction control on 1. So, that's slowing me down a little bit, but it's keeping me out of trouble, and it's saving me in case I have a slide or something with the mid-engine rear-wheel drive car. That can easily happen, as you guys know who play this game and drive these cars. But these cars handle much better, in my opinion, after the latest update, and that was the reason that solidified me going with this car. Now, if it had been a track with just less turns and more just wide open, I would have went with the LM race car, because it still has a lot more horsepower. It is faster on the straightaways, but this car definitely handles better, rotates better into these turns, and I think overall gives me a better chance to contain the tire wear. So after this lap, we have another guy pit, so that moves us up into 5th place. So these strategies were all different. Now, some of these guys were starting on mediums. I think that guy went with softs, and he got 4 laps out of the soft tires, which was really good. But he's got to use hards, and he's got to use mediums. So he's got to pit, two times instead of just 1 time. So that's going to put him behind, but he had to make up all his time on that first stretch with his soft tires. You can see a little contact right here as we slip by and jump into 4th place. I do want to go back and I want to look at that again and see how we got that overtake done, so you guys can see what we did, make sure we didn't make any mistakes, make sure we didn't do anything unethical. Slow motion, I just take the inside line, he runs wide, then he comes back into me and contacts me. So that was my line, he contacted me, but it didn't hurt me, it didn't hurt him. But I'm just saying, I don't want anybody to think I dive bombed him, because I didn't. He went wide and I took the inside, the better line, and was able to get the overtake done and move into 4th place here on lap 5. So I'm back to where I started in 4th place. Started the race in 4th. After 5 laps, we're back in 4th, and we got 2nd and 3rd place right in front of us, but we also got 5th place right behind us. So we're not in bad shape after a rough start of getting passed several times. But like I said, it all comes back to that tire strategy, and their strategy, in my opinion, was weaker than mine. But that's just the way it goes. Now you can see that right rear tire is getting a lot more heat on it than the rest of the tires. And this guy goes off the track, he gets loose, and he just cannot contain it. Let's go back and look at this again in slow motion. There was no contact ever between me and him, but he came close right there. But you can see no contact was made. And I'm able to jump up into 3rd place. Now I'm 1 position higher than when I started, which is great. So we're going to watch it one more time, see what happens to him. He kind of cuts the corner there, and his car becomes unstable. He's good on tire wear. I mean, he's on hard tires, and his tires are in better shape than mine. As you can see, his right rear tire is actually his front right tire that has more wear on his car. So either way, we're in 3rd place, and he's probably done for the day as far as coming on the podium. So I'm sure he was very, very, very upset with himself, but I can't help it. So let's just try to take tight lines. We got the 2nd place guy right there. After all that, if he makes a mistake, if he wiggles around, loses control with his tire wear, goes a little wide a couple times, gets in the grass, I'm close enough. I can take 2nd place. And the one thing I want you to understand about this race versus the weeks past is as our driver rating increases, the competition we go against, their driver ratings are higher too. These are different guys than what we've been going against. Now that guy in 4th place, I definitely recognize him, I believe, from races past, but these other guys, I don't think I've ever raced against them, because they're a little higher ranked than what we've been going against. We're about, like I said, 20-25% of the way on the B scale. So the competition is getting better. As you can tell, I'm putting up fast laps in my qualifying, and I'm still not coming in first, because that's just the game here. It's just going to get harder and harder to do that. As the competition gets better and better, we got to get faster and faster. But here on we're at lap 6. We're getting closer to that halfway mark. We got to get 3 more laps, and you can look at that right rear tire. We got to have 3 more laps out of that tire, and that is going to be tough to do. We're going to speed it up here and get to the pit stop, or get through this lap, a couple laps. And you can see, you can just watch that gauge on that tire on the right rear. It just fills up, gets redder and redder and redder as we go through lap 7 here. Nothing's really happening. I'm maintaining my distance between me and the 2nd place guy. And we come across the line here on lap 7. We have to make it through lap 8. And then at the end of lap 9, we will pit. Okay, we will pit at the end of lap 9. So let's just get along with it here, speed it up, and watch the tire gauge fill up in the right red, because that's the name of the game. But the main thing I want you to notice too is he's not running away from us. He's struggling with the same things we are, so he's probably going to pit on lap 9 as well. And I imagine the 1st place guy will as well, because they're going to have started the race on hards. You ain't going more than 9. You can possibly go 10 laps. I have done a 10 lap, but that was before the update, and I mean totally before the update. So now with this new update, I don't think I can get to that lap 10. So I'm definitely going to do lap 9. And it's going to be tough to get 6 laps out of the mediums, because you must get 6 laps out of the mediums if you pit at the end of lap 9. So, that's the name of the game, is when you get to this lap 9 and you get to lap 15, how do you handle the car when that right rear is totally full of red almost? When it totally fills up with red, you can't even drive the car. So I made that mistake in a practice race. And you got to go like 50 miles an hour. I mean, you can't hit the gas at all. If you do, the car just spins around. It just totally loses traction. So that's what we're dealing with here. Let's get to the pit stop here and watch what happens. As you can think, when we're coming into the pits, So is number 2. So is number 1. They're all going to be coming in, and probably the guy behind us is going to be coming in as well. Anybody who's kind of in this race at this point is going to be pitting right now. As you can see, he's going in, and we're going to follow him right into the pit stops. And hopefully our 4 crews ready. They are, and they can get these tires on fast. I want you to watch these guys. They don't get enough credit for how good they are at changing these tires. And we're not going to take any fuel. The fuel is 3 times the use, but it's not a factor. The car's not going to run out of fuel. So let's get these tires on, guys, get back out. Maybe we can beat somebody out of the pits, come out in second place. So we're coming out of the pits. Do we make it? No, but we're right behind the guy again in second place. The Canadians in second place in the Toyota. Now, at this point, we got to go 6 laps on the medium tires, but we got fresh medium tires right now. So let's see what happens here on lap 10. As I'm pushing pretty hard, this guy kind of goes wide on the guy in second right here, just a little. And I feel like I can cut him right there, and I start to gain on him. I'm thinking, okay, this is where it happens. I'm going to catch up with him, I'm going to pass him, and I'm going to get second place. If the first place guy wipes out, I'm going to take first place too, and I'm going to get the gold medal this time. I'm definitely going to be drinking that champagne. So you can sometimes get a glimpse of the first place guy. He's not way up there. You can see he's just took that turn up there. So we're definitely a few seconds behind him, but look what happens. We wipe out. We got to go back and look at this slow motion. This was a nightmare. So now I'm thinking, oh no, this is it. I blew it. Get back on the track, get back on the track. And he goes, and I can go through him. But I want to go back and look at this. A couple different perspectives. Watch what happens. I'm trying to get over into the blue area, but there's a little bump right there. I go too soon. I hit the gravel, hit the bump. The back end comes up off the ground and gets loose. It's all over with. There's no saving the car. When these cars go, they go. These mid-engine cars, and that's the risk of driving one. And I hit the wall, I go off the road, I try to get turned back on. I don't come into them. I'm not even on the road. They're pushing me off. Okay, so it wasn't like I came out too soon. I just came up to the gravel. I was going to look and see, and it was all over with. Well, watch from his perspective, the Genesis perspective. This guy goes around him. The yellow car goes wide, and the Genesis goes wide too and pushes him off. So that's what happened. He pushed him into me, but he was already going wide. So it wasn't like I was coming on the track and came in front of somebody. I wasn't even on the track. Go back and look at it. I wasn't even on the track when it happened, okay? Let me know what you think about that incident in the comments. It was a big deal because now I'm in 4th place. But this guy goes wide. He goes off in the grass. I'm like, thank you. Now I can catch up with you, and I'm going to overtake you. I know it's coming. You're still squiggling, baby. Boom. 4 GT. Back in 3rd place, son. Back in position to taste the champagne, okay? But nowhere near the 2nd place guy. Let's watch from his perspective what happens here. Look at his tires. He's got the medium tires on lap 10. So he's probably doing a 2-pit race. And he just goes off the grass because he goes wide because the car has no grip. There's no grip. That's why that's not a good strategy in my opinion. And he's probably going to pit anyway. He's going to pit, but he was probably going to pit anyway. But either way, we took another position back, got our 3rd place back. So that's probably part of the reason he went wide too and pushed the other car into us. It was the tires being worn out at that point. Now, like I said, I was coming back onto the track, but I wasn't even on the track yet, and I was going to wait and see if anybody was coming, but bam, I got hit. But either way, I'm back in 3rd, but I'm 10 seconds behind the 2nd place guy, where I was like, 1.5 seconds or less behind him. I was in the race with him. Now I'm nowhere near him. But if he wipes out, because he's got that tire issue to deal with too, and you can see on lap 15, this is our last lap. Look at our right rear tire. We're going to make it, but it's not great. So I've got the traction control turned on to 2. I'm nowhere near 2nd place. He's still 10 seconds ahead of me. So unless he wipes out, if he wipes out, I'll see the time go down. I'll know that push it, you got a chance. But at this point, the guys behind me, they're a pretty good piece behind me. They're probably 4 or 5 seconds behind me. And so I'm thinking, just be safe, if they catch up to me, I'll push it a little more to go for the podium. But if I'm just safe and I don't wipe out, and that's easier said than done. Right here's our spot. We got to dip in. See, it's just a fine line between hitting that bump and not hitting it. And I'm taking that fine line. I'm taking my chances. I'm good enough at this point with my accuracy that I can do that. But I just screwed up bad on that one lap. But here we go. They're back there. They're starting to catch up because I'm kind of driving Miss Daisy at this point. I'm kind of cruising around a little bit, but I only got to go through this one turn. I'm going to be good to go. So let's get through this turn nice and easy. Power across. Now we can power it. Car stable. Hit the gas. They're way back there. No problem. Martin Sim Racing across the line for the third place finish. Give me the champagne, get me on the podium, get me my medal. I know it ain't first, I know it ain't second, but hey, third place is better than all these other people did. There were 16 people in this race, 16 B race drivers, and we beat all but 2 of them. We were actually the #1 American in this race. We finished first place amongst the Americans in the race. Okay, sometimes you got to come up with stuff like that to make yourself feel good. But this is the car we went with. Look at the horsepower, look at the displacement. 527 horsepower. It's got 451 pounds of torque, 3,500 cubic centimeters of displacement. You look at your weight, 2646. So, you know, it's a good car. It's a great car. But then you want to look at the car we were going to drive and look and compare the numbers. 527 on horsepower, 606 on horsepower, 526 on torque, 5,400 cubic centimeters, and it weighs less. Why didn't I go with that car? I'm telling you, it doesn't handle as good. Tires was the issue in this race. Maybe I should have went with that car. Let me know in the comments what you think. But that was my reason. I could feel the handling being better. I just wasn't ready for that car yet. And I'd seen some good times put up with the car I did drive. Some people like at the end, they were kind of figuring out that was a better car too that were driving for us. But you can see here, a third place finish on the podium for Martin Sim Racing. Hey, we'll take it here in the Gran Turismo World Series. We're in GT2 League, and we are pretty much tearing it up, guys. We got a second place finish, a third place finish, a fourth place finish. We're doing good on our points. I mean, things are going pretty good. We just got to keep pushing, keep getting faster. We're definitely better than we were 2 or 3 weeks ago. If we can keep getting faster and keep getting better, things are going to keep going good for us. And, you know, the goal is A+. I want to be that A+ driver. I know I'm going to get A. I can feel it. Like, my times right now are as fast as some A drivers. A+ is not where I'm at. I mean, I'm never putting up a time like an A+ driver, ever. So there's things to figure out to get faster that I haven't figured out yet. Some things you can't be told, some things you have to learn on your own. And I can see what some of those things are as far as just hitting the apexes right. But also with that mid-engine car, one time on turn 1 when I was practicing, I did something with the brakes and the gas, and I hit it just right to where the car just kind of slid into the right. It didn't drift, but it just kind of popped right into position and just buried itself into the pavement, and I accelerated out faster than I ever have. But I can't figure out how to repeat that yet, but I'm working on it. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you had a good week. If you raced in the World Series, let me know in the comments how you come out. How did you do? What do you think about our progress? If you haven't subscribed to the channel, you need to go ahead and subscribe. I need some subscribers. I need to get my numbers up. I need it for motivation to keep making videos. Let me know you're enjoying these videos. If you've watched some of my videos but you never said anything, let me know you're liking them. Good feedback and positive feedback does help. Sometimes I need some critical feedback too, but I need a little good feedback sometimes. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Y'all have a good week. I'll get out some more videos this week, let you know how it's going with practice for the next round. Thank you. Have a good week. See you later.